I'm a Survivor is a part of a month-long observance and celebration of National Minority Health Month. This presentation is brought to you by the Neighborhood Community Development Center of the Urban Mission and is funded by the Ohio Commission on Minority Health. Thank you so much for joining us, and we know that you'll enjoy this message of hope.
My name is Pastor Duane Sims Sr, and I am a prostate cancer survivor.
I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder.
Well, hello and welcome back to I'm a Survivor. I am Cynthia Lytle. I serve as Director of Community Engagement for Urban Mission Ministries in Steubenville. And I hope that you've been following this amazing series so far this month that has been airing every Sunday in April. Again, I'm a Survivor is a part of a month-long celebration and observance of Minority Health Month across the state of Ohio and even nationally. And so you so far had the opportunity to hear amazing testimonies from breast cancer survivors and fighters. And today I am so excited to welcome Reverend Duane Sims to this series. And he's going to share a little bit about his journey through prostate cancer. So, Pastor Sims, thank you so much and welcome. And I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to let you take it away.
Thank you very much. I This is something near and dear to me. Me and my friend Deacon Marshall um, got this cancer. We got it told to us, and at the same time, and we both made it through it, but his came back. Mine, uh, I've just seen so many miracles in the last few years as being a pastor that where God, we look back in our lives and we see where he was in there and he was carrying us with the footprints in the sand. And it's just so marvelous to see how he works with you. When they told me I had prostate cancer, man, it just felt like my my whole world just fell in. Um, and I I didn't try to step away from concentrating on it about me, and and as I always do, I'm concerned about other people and what they're going through and everything. And through my treatment, this is what I did. Um, I started the treatment from beginning to end. Each and every time, each and every day, I went in for my treatment. Um, I sang praises to the Lord from the beginning to the end. And when I got to ring that bell, those ladies said, we're glad you rang the bell and you're not going to be here, but we loved you singing." So, uh, 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 I stop in and see them every once in a while. But I went through radiation therapy and all at the VA hospital in Pittsburgh. And then they sent me to Mercy Hospital, and I had radialized seeds put in me. I
Okay.
couldn't be around my grandkids. I couldn't be uh, uh, around any. If a woman was pregnant, she couldn't be around me.
Okay.
So it was something, trying to stay away from people and everything when you know that's what I like to do. I pray, I ask God to bless those who hear my voice. And because I'm talking about him all the time. But we got a magnificent God, a fantastic God. I mean, to show his love for us, he helped me make it through this. And I'll give you my testimony is so fantastic. But while I was going through um, my uh, treatment, um, I I drive the DAV van, the Disabled American Veteran van, to the VA hospital in Pittsburgh on Thursdays and Fridays. So I drive, I turn my paperwork in, and then I go and eat. And I sit in a certain spot with people coming in or out. I always greet them, good morning, how you doing? Hey, you make sure you have a blessed day, and or happy resurrection day. You enjoy that day that the Lord has given you. Um, then uh, I came out one time, and there was a lady there, and I said, "Excuse me, ma'am, do you have somebody that's having a procedure today?" And she says, "Yes, yes, my husband." I said, "Do you mind if I pray for him?" Because I always do that. And she says, "Oh, by all means, no, please, please do." So I prayed for him and her, and um, she says, when I was done praying, she says, "He has cancer." And I looked at her and I said, "He's covered." 2 months later, um, this lady comes up to me, the same lady, but I didn't recognize her, because I'm a lot of people. And she said, "Sir, are you the gentleman that talked to me?" And I said, "Ma'am, I talk to many people every day. I can't remember." She says, My husband had cancer and you prayed for us." And I said, "You were sitting right over there." She says, "Yes, yes, yes." And I said, "Yes, ma'am." She says, "We looked for you for 2 hours that day." And I said, "Huh, this is a hospital. People are sick in here." No, and I looked, and this lady was very serious. I was making a joke, but she was very serious. And I said, "Yes, ma'am. So, why were you looking for me?" She said, "Half an hour after you prayed for my husband, they called me on the phone and they told me they couldn't find the cancer in him." And I said, "Oh, well, did you tell everybody what God has done for you?" You
Mhm,
know,
mhm.
uh, and she said, "Oh, we do all the time." And I said, it was a gentleman was with her, and I said, "Is this your husband?" And she said, "No, no, this is my brother-in-law." And I said, "Oh, so your husband has another appointment up here today?" She looked at me and she said, Yes, but um, they found cancer again." And I said, "Oh, well, we did it once, let's do it again." So we prayed again for her husband, and about 15 minutes after we prayed, we're just talking about God. And her phone rings and she answers it and she says, "Yes, uh-huh, yes. So he's coming down? Okay, all right, bye." And she hangs up and she's just staring. And I said, "Ma'am, is everything all right?" And she looked at me and she says, "They can't find the cancer." And I said, "Like I told you,
We do it again.
tell everybody what God has done for you, because I have to tell everybody what God has done for me, because it's a blessing. It's a blessing." And somebody said, "Oh, you're just in remission." I said, "No, no, no, no. I have a God that is a finisher." You know, I have a God that is a God of victory. So that is gone. Now I could get cancer again next week, but that's a different cancer. you know, um, uh, just all that happened to me, and seeing people and telling them this, and keeping them encouraged in their fight, in what they're going through, and meeting so many people like you that have overcome something through the Lord, because He puts us out here. He takes us through our trials and our tribulations in our life to make us the people that He need us to be, and
Right.
with the gifts that He has given us, so we can operate in the church, the body of Christ, with all the gifts in that body working together like a well-oiled machine, to be a blessing to whomever we touch whoever the church is a cornerstone of the community, that when it reaches its hand out into the community, it is a blessing. It is a blessing to them. And
Yeah.
I just
Yeah. And it's so
I just
amazing.
love it. Yeah,
Yeah, and
yes,
it's so amazing that in the midst of your journey, you were able to, be an encouragement and a light and a witness to someone who was going through a very similar situation. And
yes,
I wanted to
yes.
ask, leading up to your diagnoses, did you have signs and symptoms, or was this a result of you going to your doctors regularly, visiting your PCP or urologist?
Uh, hmm. they noticed, this was in 2019. They noticed that there was um, high levels of testosterone, and they checked, and my levels were so high that they felt that it was cancerous.
Okay. Okay. But you were going to your visits though with through the VA regularly, and then they were able to
Yes, ma'am.
catch those things. And that's so important for people to understand, um, to keep your regular visits with your doctor, and be in good communication so that these
That's
things.
and like I was a typical male, you know. We think, yeah, I'll be all right. I don't need that. And um, when they told me that it was cancerous, I, you know, I was like, no, not me. And I was thinking, and I called my kids, and just to hear my kids, man, I tell you what, it made me it made me they were like, Dad, we don't want you to die. And I'm like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. I took it to the cross, you know. So let's see what God has to say about it. But just to hear them, um, you know, cry out that they didn't want anything to happen to me. I seen the love that they had for me,
Yeah.
and when I got through it, I knew the love that God had for me, which was greater than any love,
As
the
you went,
agape love.
yes, yeah. Well, as you went through your treatment, were would you say there were difficult points of that? How you responded to radiation or the chemo? And I know you said you had, something put in you where you weren't able to be around children. Can you talk to us a little bit about your treatment?
Um, well, I went through radiology um, treatment, and then they sent me to Mercy Hospital in Pittsburgh, and I got um, radialized seeds put in me. But the thing was, when they did the biopsy of the area, man, it hurts because there's no painkiller, no nothing, it hurts. And I mean, it's like this little machine is just biting your skin off, and well, the inside you, just taking bites and chunks of meat out of you. And they had to take 12 uh, um, pieces. And um, then uh, when I went through that pain, then that's when they told me that it was cancerous, and that they um, had to do the treatment. So I went through that treatment, and then went and they put the seeds in me, and that hurts. That hurts, So it was uh, it was a painful situation, but there was a lot of people that were there. They were showing you love, um, in the VA hospital. Um, and me being a pastor, I just continued to show them my love and my appreciation for them and what they were doing for me. So I mean, I've been driving a DAV. I've been driving a DAV van to Pittsburgh for 30 years. So, you get to knowing people, and they all knew me as the guy that sings
Right,
Christian songs in the chow hall or wherever I go,
right,
and
right.
I'm the guy that was always showing them appreciation. Good morning, how you doing today, and all that. And so their attention to me and for me was great, and uh, it helped out. It helped out a lot.
And no, so for you, how many years has it been since you went back and they said, well, since you rung the bell, since you've been cancer free?
And 21,
Okay,
2021.
since
Yep.
2021.
hmm And
And
uh, I'm still I'm still good so far, um, but it has a lot of effects on you. It's You got to just have your faith in God because He's the only one that's going to help you through any and all these things,
yeah,
So,
yeah.
um,
And it's actually been shared, statistic wise that um, individuals dealing with any type of cancer who have a faith component and a supportive um, network around them, they've seen greater chances for survival. So folks, across the country putting their faith in God in this process, and then they've got friends and family and loved ones coming around them, and it's making a difference. It's making a
yes,
difference. Yeah,
yes, it is. And our thing is to encourage others. That's why God puts us through these trials and tribulations. As my daughter says, what don't kill you make you stronger. But it's the thing is that um, once you've gone through these trials and tribulations, it's your job to assist your brothers and sisters who get into the same situation. It's your job to encourage them and encourage them in the Lord
yeah,
because this is uh, our anchor. He's our anchor, and to hold on, to not get washed away, not to get put out to sea. He's our anchor to hold on to the truth, you know, and the truth is Him. That He can get us through any and all things. Is that the adversary is sitting there working on us, telling us that, oh, He don't love you. No, loves you, each and every one of us. He's been with you your whole life. Just Satan is there trying to blind places in your life where God was always there, and let you think that He wasn't, but He is. And I'm gonna tell you, what I tell people is look back in your life and see all those times when you thought you were walking alone. It was like the footprints in the sand, and He was carrying you. You know.
absolutely. Yeah. And you said it. That's exactly what this series, I'm a Survivor, is all about, to
hmm
help encourage someone um, who might be going through a similar situation. This might reach someone who's just received that diagnosis, and or even to help people be aware, just knowledge. And so that kind of leads me into my next part. What
hmm
what is some advice that you would give um, those watching about the importance of getting their screenings, um,
Oh,
prostate screening, seeing their doctor?
mhm.
What advice would you give?
My uncle told me, um, my great uncle, he told me, when you turn 50, start going for your prostate exam and everything. And I tell people now, as soon as you turn 45, start, start because you want to make sure that everything is all right and catch things ahead of time and don't be a proud guy standing up there like you oh, ain't nothing gonna happen to me. You know what? I am a prime example of that guy, you know. And I'm telling you, give in and get these checks because it may save your life.
And you said it very well. Now, um, doctors or urologists, most will say start screening at 50. But for African
Hmm.
American males, they are encouraged to start screening even at 40. So the
Yes.
prostate screening that we offer in April here is for men 40 and up. And then if you
Hmm.
have some family history, you can actually get screened younger than that if you talk with your um, urologist. So you're absolutely right, and I love that you said that. Like, just put your pride aside,
Yes,
and
yes. I mean, you have to.
yeah,
Yes, because that's a manly thing. We try that testosterone is the thing that's making us, I'm all right. Nothing will happen to me. But let's come to reality. You know.
yeah,
Yeah.
amen. Well, God
Amen.
bless you. God bless you. I just want to thank everyone who tuned in. And we have one more episode to go, the last Sunday of this month. So we hope that you enjoyed this. And we hope to see you again next Sunday for our fourth and final episode of I'm a Survivor.
I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it. I will survive. Keep on surviving.
Please take a moment to tell us what you thought about this presentation. You can find the survey link in the comment section below.